Welcome to the University of Concordia Irvine side of today's California Collegiate League matchup between the Orange County Riptide and the visiting SoCal Catch. Welcome to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling, and we are in for a doozy of a game. Against the first place Orange County Riptide, off to a great start. After a pretty subpar start to the season, they've moved themselves, have only lost one of their last 10 games. So they have been hot. The SoCal Catch have been sort of the opposite. They got off to a blistering 3-1 start and have since then lost 5 in a row in conference play. They played the Orange County Surf not too long ago and beat them, but the Riptide are the team that they're facing today, and on the mound for the Riptide is going to be Hayden Shenefield. Hayden Shenefield out of Grossmont Junior College has an 8-0 career record with them, an 80 and 2/3 innings pitch and a 1.56 ERA. He is an absolute stud on the mound, and he's actually got a very good durability. He's got very good durability for a starter, and that might be huge for the Riptide, who have used the most pitchers in the CCL. They average about 4 pitchers used per game. So if they could have Shenefield go 7, 8, only use 1 or 2 pitchers. They've only used 2 pitchers once this entire season. That was in the very first game against the Saints, where Vorshek went 5 and Will Tomlinson went 3rd. So if Shenefield could really eat some innings, that would spare the bullpen and give them a lot more breathing room for their arms and just give a lot of people some rest. And that's going to be big because they're about to go on a 2-week away game streak where they don't play at the University of Concordia at all. They're going to be going up against several. They're going to be going up against several teams. Well, first of all, they're going to end their 3-game set with a game at Biola. That's going to be tomorrow. And then they get a day off, but then they go to Ventura. Then they spend 2 days in San Luis Obispo. Then they go to Pasadena, Long Beach, and then Compton for 2 days. So it could be very tough. That's their entire road trip. We're getting ready for the first pitch here today. First pitch at 4:38. Orange County 8-5 on the year in conference play. 8-5-1 technically. Ended in a tie, one of the games against the Legends. First pitch, fastball outside from Shenefield, 1-0. But yeah, that was unique. I never saw something like that, and I didn't know that the California Collegiate League would allow a game to end in a tie, but it was too dark to finish. So they ended that series against the Long Beach Legends, 1-0-1, winning the first game and tying the second one. Ground ball to the left side, foul. Right over, actually bounced off of the Riptide dugout, 1-1, the count's even. They're going to finish that game when the two teams play again on July 23rd. So the Legends and the Riptide will continue that one, and I imagine they'll have to start that pretty early if they want to finish it out. 1-1 the count now to the leadoff man, Grant Robbins. And the 1-1 pitch is bunted. 2 hops back to Shenefield. Shenefield has it and tosses on the first for Fletcher, who gets out number 1. So Grant Robbins, he grounds out back to the pitcher. A bunt attempt that probably was supposed to go down the line. Robbins has great speed, which is probably why he was looking to do that. But it ends well for the Riptide. The Riptide won the game yesterday against the Catch in Biola. A huge game for them. 14-2 was the final score. 3 home runs we saw for the Riptide in that game. Of course, 2 were by Fletcher and 1 by Aaron Greenfield, his first on the year. Now the second man up. He swings at the first pitch he sees, making chases Miranda. He's not going to get there. It's going to 2-hop up against the wall. Booman is heading around second. He's going to try for third, and he's going to hold up. So he's going to stay at second. A 1-pitch double, 1 out, and they have a man in scoring position for Jonathan Dukoff.
Next up, the designated hitter number 7, Jonathan Dukoff.
So right there we saw what was a misplacement from Shenefield. Man behind the plate, Polshin, was setting up high and out and ended up going a little bit in and toward the belt. And he was able to get good timing on it and hit it the opposite way. A lot of these SoCal Catch players have very good gap power. They can hit it into the most dangerous parts of the yard. and get extra base hits. You could see during batting practice, a lot of them, they weren't really hitting it down the line or straight to the shortstop. They were hitting great line drives right over the heads of the second baseman and shortstop, or where they would be at least, getting into those territories that allowed them to take extra bases. Jonathan Dukoff took the first pitch. It was a strike. Takes the second one as well. It's 1-1. Dukoff was among those that really showed that gap power off the most. I was talking to him a little bit afterward, and I was astonished. The first thing I said to him was, wow, man, you can really hit those gaps. And he said, yeah, I was actually calling them. So he can sort of direct them, and that's what you call a run manufacturer. He got off to a blistering start to the season. Through his first 14 games, was near the top of the CCL leaderboards in terms of batting average. Sort of cooled off the past 5 games, but is really looking to get back on track. He has an opportunity to give the catch an early lead here. A base hit would likely score Booman, who has good speed, and that's why he's playing shortstop. Count is 2-1 to Dukoff. Shenfield, out of the stretch, he delivers. Swung on and missed. A nice breaking ball that got Dukoff out on his front foot. Let's go through the lineup for the visiting catch. Batting first, who grounded back to the pitcher, was Grant Robbins, followed by Mitch Booman. He's standing on second. Jonathan Dukoff, Stephen Garrett, Evan Sandman, Omar Ortiz, Shea Whitcomb, Kyle Soria, and Nate Pacoda. Here's a ground ball to the left side, foul. Right to the left of the third base coach for the catch. Count will remain even, 2-2. And we're seeing the first battle of the game thus far. Only 4 pitches to get through the first 2 hitters. Booman liked what he saw, took it the opposite way, right center field, got himself a double. Shenfield's going to step off. Shenfield, a very patient pitcher. You saw that for the first time there. Likes to play the game at his pace. Something else he does very well is when there are runners on base, like we have right now, when he gets into that stretch position, he's very good at using that slide step and changing up the pace, throwing hitters off their timing. There's a breaking ball way inside. That came off the jersey of Dukoff, but it did graze him, so he'll head on down to first. A hit by pitch. So now there's 2 on very early for the cleanup man, Stephen Garrett, who's playing first today. And Stephen Garrett's not the man you want up there. A .310 average with 2 extra base hits on the year. He's got very good power. You look at him and you know he has good power. And he's looking to do some damage right here. Dukoff at first. On second is Mitch Booman. Garrett awaits the first pitch. Fouled back. Right over our heads, out of play, 0-1. A big cut from Garrett, looking to put some runs on the board. Well, why not? He just hit a man. Probably going through Garrett's head was he just hit Dukoff, so he wants to prove that he can get back in the strike zone, wants to command it right away. So he'll probably lay something in there, so I'll swing at the first pitch. 0-1. Second baseman Williams shading over, waiting for the pickoff attempt. Second pitch, a breaking ball. Looks like a slider. Started on the inside, broke to the outside corner. 0-2. It was taken by Garrett. But good framing by Polshin. Has Shenfield ahead by 2 strikes. Stephen Garrett, count is 0-2. Defense, double play depth. Center fielder Parente shading slightly to the left. Another breaking ball left up high. Didn't quite break enough. 1-2. That's the first ball of the at-bat. Waiting on deck, Evan Sandman. Yesterday, Garrett had an RBI double. One of the only 2 RBIs for the catch yesterday. The 2-1 line straight back up the middle. They're going to send Booman. Parente has a good arm. He fires. The throw home is going to be in time. They're going to try to get him at third. And a nice stop by Polshin diving. The throw from Polshin behind the plate was errant, but a diving Polshin kept it in front of him. It didn't go to the outfield and didn't allow Booman to score. A great throw and a great charge from Parente. Kept no runs on the board, and it's still a 0-0 game, but the bases are loaded with only 1 out. We're only in the top of the first, everybody. So Evan Sandman going to come up now. He's going to face Shenfield. Shenfield has had himself a pretty good year thus far for the Riptide. A 3.6 ERA. He's only appeared in one game, but he pitched 5 innings and gave up 2 runs and had 4 strikeouts. Didn't walk anybody. So we saw his first free base. It wasn't via walk. It was by hit by pitch. But still, first pitch, a breaking ball. A nice little front door from him. Started out of the strike zone and came in. 0-1. What you'll see from Shenfield, you'll see a 4-seam, 2-seam, a slider, and changeup. Very simple pitcher, very simple man. Slider is one of his best pitches. A lot of the time you see the one when they put down the fastball. But, and the reason they put down the one for the fastball is because it's supposed to be a pitcher's #1 pitch. When you're behind the count, you throw it, and you try to get back into the count, and you try to get them to chase something high above the zone. But really, Shenfield really uses that slider, actually uses about 40% of the time, which is what you would expect to see from a fastball. Here's a fly ball, deep right field. Miranda moving back, a step in front of the track, makes the catch. The runner from third will tag, he will score. And Dukoff will also tag from second, he'll head to third. And we have a 31 situation, an early 1-0 lead for the catch. 2 away now, but there is still a runner in scoring position. Omar Ortiz, the third baseman, is going to be the man up. And we have a 31 situation. We'll see if there's any tomfoolery going around here. Shenfield, still out of the stretch. He delivers. A big swing and a miss. The nice slider. Got Ortiz out over the top of it. That was a very nice hit by Sandman. It couldn't find a hole, but that's exactly what you want to do. With 1 out, you're just trying to score a run. The ground ball is a possible double play, so you want to get it in the air and deep enough to where they can score. The 0-1 pitch is a changeup on the inside corner, 0-2. And that's what the Catch do. The Catch, they have a saying. It's, we play the game we love. And you can tell that they love it. They have not had the greatest season thus far. The one thing I heard from Dukoff when I was talking to him before the game was that their coach always tries to tell them, even through the toughest times, like, yeah, we got to play better. Don't let yourself be satisfied with losses. But you got to remember, even through the tough times, that we play this game because we love it. And you can tell that has really elevated this team's morale. The 1-2 is outside, a fastball, 2-2 just off the outside. Runners at first and third. At first, it's Stephen Garrett. At third, it's Jonathan Dukoff. Dukoff got there via hit by pitch. Stephen Garrett singled. A sacrifice fly by Sandman has the catch up. 1-0 early. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Another slider. The back door started in the zone and broke to the outside, so he gets Ortiz to end the inning, but not before the catch. And get one across. We'll head to the bottom of the first. The Riptide get a chance. It's going to be Parente, Williams, and Fletcher. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the University of Concordia in Irvine. We're in the bottom of the first. A 1-0 lead for the Catch. After a sacrifice fly by Evan Sandman brought home Mitch Booman. Parente is going to lead thing off, the lefty going up against Bailey Martin. First pitch is high and outside with a fastball, 1-0. Martin from Miami University in Ohio. The 1-0. Another fastball, just low. Tallest guy on the Catch team. He's an inch taller than Hayden Jorgensen. Jorgensen pitched yesterday. And Martin uses that big frame. Here's a pop-up. It's very high. They can't see it. They do the dance, and the catcher, Soria, falls over, making the play. And his teammates help him up. A nice play by Soria to get Parente for the first out of the bottom of the first. That's going to bring up the new guy, Jackson Williams from the University of Arkansas. Williams played yesterday in the win. He went 1 for 4 and scored 2 runs. He also walked. He did strike out. One thing about Williams, a very crafty player. Not necessarily the strongest, but he can beat you a lot of different ways. He plays with all he's got. Williams swung at the first pitch, a big cut, 0-1. We have 2 straight players that went to the University of Arkansas last year in Jackson Williams and Dominic Fletcher. Another swing and a miss from Williams, 0-2. Very aggressive hitter Williams is. Did strike out yesterday. The 0-2 from Martin. Swung on him foul to the right side and back, out of play. Count will remain 0-2. Something about Martin. He made 12 appearances last year for Miami University, including 5 starts, finished with a 3-1 record. In his first start against Northern Kentucky, he had 6 scoreless innings. Not necessarily a strikeout guy, but there he gets Williams looking, a fastball low and outside corner for his first strikeout and the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up one of the most powerful men in the CCL, Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher, 4 home runs on the year. Leads the CCL in that category, and he's only played in a couple of games. Came in very late here. He check swings and fouls it off to the left side and out of play. Right underneath our ticket booth. So Martin getting off to a very quick start, getting ahead of every single hitter he's faced thus far. First pitch strikes are the name of the game. The 0-1 from Martin. Fletcher swings and drills it to left field. Robbins moving toward the line and getting underneath it for out number 3. So Fletcher gives it a ride, but still nothing doing. No runs on, no hits, no walks, nobody left on base. We head to the second. It's a 1-0 game, the Catch lead. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Top of the second here at the University of Concordia Irvine, and we have 7-8-9 coming up against Shenfield. It's 1-0 the Catch lead. They had one run on 2 hits and a hit by pitch as well. Sacrifice fly by Evan Sandman scored Mitch Booman, who had a double with 1 out. That's where we stand right now. Shenfield delivers first pitch to Whitcomb. Fastball at the knees, 0-1. So Shenfield worked his way out of trouble. Minimal damage, only 1 run of blood coming across. Another swing and a miss. That was a ball in the dirt. Looked like a changeup. 0-2. So Shenfield gets out ahead of Whitcomb. Whitcomb, a very tall stance. The big kick. The breaking ball is outside and maybe a little bit high as well. Tried to get him on the curveball. 1-2. Whitcomb from the University of California, San Diego, UCSD. Here's a pop-up on the right side on the infield. Fletcher is underneath it, makes the catch. Fletcher at first base today, and that's a good spot to go over the Riptide defensive lineup. From left to right, we have Aaron Greenfield, Joey Parente, and David Miranda. Over at the hot corner is Logan Polson. On the other side, Dominic Fletcher. He's normally in center field, making his first appearance at first. And the 2 men up the middle will be Bo Phillip at short and Jackson Williams at second. And behind the plate, putting down the numbers, is going to be Jake Polston in the squat. And on the mound is Hayden Shenfield. First pitch to the number 8 man, Kyle Soria. The ball, 1-0. The 1-0 delivery from Shenfield. Fastball at the knees, a 2-seamer. 1-1 the count now. Yep. Shenfield toes the rubber. Still out of the stretch with nobody on base. A ground ball to the shortstop, Phillip, on the backhand, has it, and a quick throw over to first, and a dig out by Fletcher. Gets the quick Soria. Soria is a catcher, but don't let that fool you. He has good speed, and he was almost able to beat that one out. Bo Phillip, such a great glove over there. That leather is the finest in the land, in my opinion. He's made a couple errors, actually leads the team in errors, but somebody once told me that the great players make the hard plays look easy, and they make the impossible plays look possible. And Bo Phillip's done that on more than one occasion on the year. If you watched a couple of games, you know that he makes almost one spectacular play every time out there. He is the epitome of an infield captain, so passionate about the game, very serious about this sport. 0-1 is the count to the 9th spot, Nate Pacoda. Here he pops it up on the infield, everybody converging. Looks like it's going to be Jackson Williams who makes the catch right behind the pitcher's mound. Shenfield gave way. So a quick 1-2-3 after a first inning where the bases were loaded. Still a 1-0 game, but the Catch are going to try to hold off the Riptide in the bottom of the second. The Riptide going to try to tie it up for their pitcher. We'll be right back on the OC Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. From bottom of the second now, it's going to be Logan Polson, me to the order 4, 5, 6, Polson, and Miranda. got through a very good first inning, getting a strikeout against Williams and going 1-2-3 against a very dangerous Riptide lineup. First pitch to Polson is swung on and drilled back up the middle. First pitch, first base hit of the inning. First base hit for the Riptide in general. Polson will be standing on first, nobody out, and a man on. That's going to bring up Jake Polson. Polson, the longest active hit streak in the CCL, standing at 6 games. He struggled at the beginning of the year and has really picked up his hitting. And I was talking to him a couple games ago, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still struggling. And I said, well, this is your struggling. I don't know what it is if you get it going. Because struggling, he's still in the 5 spot. That shows how valuable his bat is. First pitch was down low, 1-0. Logan Polson, the man on first. Infield a double play depth. The 1-0, breaking ball. Goes low and outside, 2-0. When I say double play depth, I mean the second baseman back toward the grass, the shortstop back toward the grass, and a little bit closer to second base. But something about the catches double play depth, they're actually in more, a little bit in further than you would normally expect. And the shortstop is actually not shading over to second base. The second baseman is. As I mentioned, they're not actually back towards the grass. So a little bit unorthodox, but if it works for them, it works. The 2-0 is down low, 3-0. Polson being very patient, looking for his opportunity. We'll see if he has the take sign here, if he'll be willing to swing away. Polson awaiting the delivery. Martin out of the stretch. Fastball on the inside corner. 3-0. Polson takes off. He's got good speed for a man his size, but it gets fouled off to the right side and out of play. 3-2, the count's full, so 3-0 to 3-2. Martin looking to climb back, get the first out of this second inning. The hit and run being called there by Peterson, the head coach. 3-2. Going again, a fly ball out into center field. Pacoda comes in, makes the catch. They're going to try to double him off. Polson didn't see it, and they're going to get him. He's not going to be able to get back to first in time. There's going to be 2 away, nobody on. So you call that the F8-3 double play, the classic one. So Polson gave it a nice ride, very good contact, but right at the center fielder Pacoda. And Polson didn't keep track of it and couldn't get back to first. Maybe Polson thought it was such good contact it would fall in time, but a good jump by Pacoda was able to get there. And it was very close to the infield, actually only a couple of feet away. By a couple of feet, I mean about 30 feet away from the infield. David Miranda up to the plate. Now he swings at the first pitch and dribbles it to the left side, foul, off the end of the bat. Yesterday, Miranda went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Only player with 3 RBIs on either team. And is having himself quite the year. Usually in the cleanup spot, that's where he's been most of the year, but with the addition of the new players, he's been moved down, but still just as dangerous as ever. The 0-1, a breaking ball that's left up catcher, Martin, had a good chance of getting to it. Stretched out his arm, but his glove was just above where the ball was, so he wasn't able to catch it. Miranda is on with 2 outs and a base hit. So the base running mistake by Polson could really end up costing the Riptide. There'd be 2 on and 1 out, and the man in scoring position for Dean Miller. But rather, it's just Miranda on first and 2 gone. We do have 2 hits now. Dean Miller has good gap potential. Miranda has good speed as well. But they pick him off. It won't matter. Martin, the quick pickoff attempt, the jump move over the first, gets Miranda. A very quick move. That's the second time this year that a Riptide player has been picked off. We'll be right back with the 3rd inning. It's going to be the top of the lineup, but going up against Shenfield on the Orange County Riptide Network. 1-0, the Riptide trail. We're in the 3rd inning. Shenfield returns out there. It's a 1-0 game, the Riptide trail. The lone run coming in the top of the 1st. And now it's going to be 1-2-3, the people who got it going for the catch last time up. Robbins 0 for 1 on the day, bunted it back to Shenfield. First pitch, a breaking ball, a slider. A nice little front door started out, came in 0-1. We apologize to those of you viewing at home. We understand that the stream has been less than stellar quality. We are working to improve that. The 0-1, a fastball low and away, taken by Robbins. Count will be even at 1. So Shenfield coming back, the man from Woodlands Hill. A slight frame, but a big arm. And great movement as well on his pitches. Another slider low and away, and a nice take by Robbins. He thought about it, 2-1. No walks yet in the game. Shenfield not one to walk many people. But the count is 2-1 in the advantage of Robbins. Here's a swing and a line drive, a fly ball into the gap. They're converging to the center fielder and the left fielder, and it's going to be Greenfield who calls off Parente and makes the catch for out number 1. So there's 1 away here for the 2 spot. The man who hit a double and would later come around to score, Mitch Booman. Booman looking to do the same thing here. Looking to make history repeat itself. And that's exactly what he's been the entire year, is just somebody who's been able to hit the ball across the field, able to spray it, which you might think and you might look at doesn't have the grace of timings, but the ability to hit to all fields is what makes somebody so dangerous. Reminiscent of Adrian Gonzalez back when he was with the Padres and even his early Red Sox days and even his early Dodgers days. But of course his Dodger days were less than accomplished than he was with the Padres. 1-1 to count to him. But the thing you always heard about Gonzalez was that the fact that he could hit it to every field and hit it well was what made him so dangerous, because you couldn't throw outside, he'd take it to the opposite field, couldn't throw him inside, he'd hit it to his strong side, and you could throw it down the middle because then he'd take you out because he had that kind of power. 1-2 the count after that fastball's in there. And that's exactly what Booman brings to the table. .278 on the year. No extra base hits, 10 singles, but 5 RBI as well. So he's made himself a good run producer. Fouls that one back right above us into the jungle. 1-2 the count remains. Shenfield works out of the stretch at all times. He delivers the 1-2 breaking ball down the third base line. Nice backhanded snag by Polson, and the throw on to first is in time to get Booman for out number 2. So 2 quick outs. Brings up to the plate the 3 spot, Jonathan Dukoff. Dukoff got hit by a pitches last time up. Only went 1 for 3 yesterday. Told me he's been struggling a little bit, or at least he thinks he's struggling over the past 5 games. But I look at 1 for 3, and I think that's a .333 average. You're doing pretty good. His scouting report for Baylor was that he was a 5-tool player. And he could play primarily third base, but could pretty much play anywhere, actually. And he is, in fact, that. He's the DH today as he fouls that one back into the mask of the umpire behind the plate. 0-1. Dukoff has the capability to play at any spot in the infield. He's also played a little bit of outfield, too, for the Baylor Bears. Never been on the mound or behind the plate, for that matter. The 0-1 is swung on and missed over the top of that changeup. 0-2. Shenfield can reach about 88 with his fastball, but it's not his fastball that's going to beat you. It's going to be his slider and his changeup. He's been able to use those very effectively. He's actually thrown the fastball less than 50% of the time thus far. There's a 2-seam fastball, very high in the air to left center. Fletcher Parente is going to make the catch in center. Excuse me for that. I'm just so used to seeing Fletcher out in center field. That's going to end the inning. Fletcher's over at first. Parente made that catch for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the third. Still a 1-0 catch lead. Riptide trying to tie it up. We'll be right back on the OC Riptide Network. Stay tuned. So the man from UC Riverside, Dean Miller, coming up to the plate. He is a Highlander. Dean Miller making his first appearance at the University of Concordia for the Riptide. Last year, he did very well for the Big West team. First pitch, down low in the dirt, taken by Miller, 1-0. So Martin has worked his way through a very nice first 2 innings. Gone 6 up, 6 down, thanks to the help of a base running error by Logan Polson. The very tall stance of Miller awaits the 1-0, and it's swung on and drilled to left field. Coming in on it is Robbins, who will make the catch 1 away. So Aaron Greenfield from North Carolina, a Tar Heel. He's going to come up to the plate now, and there's a couple things about Greenfield I'd like to state right off the bat. He is absolutely beloved by his teammates. He's one of those guys who can make fun of everybody, but he does it in such a way where it's sort of endearing at the same time. Gets along well with absolutely everybody. And he's one of those guys where even if the team is losing by a lot, you can talk to Greenfield, and he just seems to love to be out there, love to be able to play this great sport, and loves being with the guys that he enjoys playing the game with. 1-0 the count, and the delivery from Martin. It's a fastball at the knees, 1-1, the count's even. So the count is 1-1 to Greenfield. Martin fires. Another fastball low and outside corner, 1-2. Something about Greenfield was that he was actually on an episode of Sports Science where they tried to figure out the difference in spin or rotations between a teenager, he was 13 at the time, and a major league pitcher. And he was the one throwing the balls and his friend was catching. And he said he remembers that, and he got to meet a lot of cool people, got to meet some major league ball players. He said that was like a dream come true, but the only problem was that it was in a warehouse and it was about 103 degrees. He said, so that was the worst part of the day. 2-2 the count. This is a dribbler to the third baseman, Ortiz. 2 hops it and throws it on over to Garrett at first in time for out number 2. Ortiz waited back on that one. A lot of the time you hear from coaches that you want their players to charge, but the greatest thing I hear a lot of the time from coaches is the ability, in terms of fielding, is the ability for a player to know when to charge and when to stay back, knowing when they have time to do so. You don't want somebody who stays back on it too often. You don't want somebody who charges it too often. Charging it too often will lead to a lot of errors. Here's a fly ball to left field. Moving in on it, Robbins will make the catch for out number 3. I'll talk more about the fielding prowess later. 1 pitch was the third out to Phillip. So 9 up, 9 down, only 2 hits for the Riptide. We'll be back with the 4th inning, still a 1-0 lead for the Catch. Stay tuned on the Orange County Riptide Network. Four, five, six coming up in the top of the 4th inning. It's going to be Garrett, Sandman, and Ortiz. Sandman has the lone RBI in this contest. They're going up against Shenfield, who's back out there for his 4th inning of work. But the bullpen for the Riptide is going. First pitch, check, swing, and a miss. Another breaking ball, 0-1. Shenfield very reminiscent of King Felix from a couple of years ago. I would say King Felix in general, but since last year he's been a little bit less than himself, but was something that King Felix also always struck me with. My family in Oakland likes the Oakland A's, so we see a lot of him. But almost every count, 3 balls, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, he was never afraid to throw a breaking ball. That one's fouled off. Count will remain 0-2. But that was always the thing with Felix Hernandez, was that in any sort of count you can expect any pitch from him. And that's sort of the same thing with Shenfield. He can throw that changeup or that slider at almost any opportunity and get a strike with it. The 0-2. Changeup just low. Garrett thought about it. And a nice take from him puts the count at 1-2. Shenfield out of the stretch. He protects, fouls it off to the right side now to play 1-2. So last time up, Garrett singled right back up the middle, just out of the reach of Shenfield, who tried for it on the mound. And that would end up loading the bases. They thought about sending Boomin around the plate, but Parente charged immediately and made a great throw home. They were almost able to get Boomin back at third, but it was just not in time, and it almost got into the outfield. Polston behind the plate tried to throw it as hard as he could and as fast as he could to give Polston a chance to tag him out. 3-2, the count's full now. They're going to appeal, and they say he took it. This is going to be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Longest at-bat we've seen from anybody today. The full count pitch, the payoff. Slider on the inside corner. He got him looking. Grab some pine, Garrett. There's going to be one away for the 5 spot, Evan Sandman. Sandman sacrificed flies last time up to bring home Mitch Boomin and also put Dukoff on third. Dukoff would not come around to score. That was the second out of the first. Yesterday, Sandman 0 for 3. There's something about him, he makes very good contact. So he's a very streaky player because of that. When I say streaky, I mean every now and again he's going to go through a couple of games where he doesn't get very lucky. He makes contact, but it's right at somebody, or it's a ground ball, or he dribbles it over to the right side. But when he starts making amazing contact, he makes good contact a lot, but when he starts really getting on top of the ball and getting line drives, hard line drives, he can bat clear over 350. He's had stretches where he's been able to do that this year, but then again, he's also had stretches where he goes 0 for 9 over the course of 4 games. So we'll see which one we have today. He had very good contact in the first and did exactly what he needed to drive in that run. It's 3-0. Shenfield falls behind very quickly. And we'll see if Sandman has the take sign. The 3-0. Fastball right down Main Street. 3-1 still in the hitter's count. One away in the top of the 4th. A 1-0 catch lead. 1 run on 2 hits for the catch. No runs on 2 hits. Both of those hits for the Riptide were negated. Big swing and a miss. It's full count now. 3-2. Second straight hitter to lead off the inning that have gotten to a full count. The 2 hits for the Riptide. Big swing and a miss. He struck him out. Grab some pine, Sandman. So 2 straight strikeouts. His 3rd strikeout of the day. Only threw 3 2/3. And all of a sudden, Shenfield is really looking spectacular. 10 straight retired by him, dating back to the first inning. And it was Sandman who started that streak with the sacrifice fly. Then it was a strikeout to end the first to Omar Ortiz, who's the man up right now. First pitch. Way inside with a slider. Tried to front door, but didn't front door enough. It's like the guy started at the driveway, wanted to come in, and got scared to enter the home. So he backed away. 1-0. The 1-0 is down low. 2-0, easy take for Ortiz. Shenfield, a 1.56 career ERA at Grossmont Junior College. 80 2/3 innings pitched. He is an absolute workhorse for his team. A big swing and a miss from Ortiz. 2-1, still in the hitter's advantage. Something about Shenfield, I've said this, but I haven't really explained it. Shenfield is out of the stretch with nobody on base. That's something you don't see very often. That fastball's at the knees, 2-2 counts even. Deuces are wild. But normally when there's nobody on base, or if there's bases loaded or runners at second and third, basically if there's somebody on third, nobody can advance unless it's via a hit or a walk. You'll see a lot of pitchers go out of the windup. They enjoy it more. It gives them more time. Ground ball to third. Polson has it. And we'll toss on to Fletcher for route number 3. So a very quick set of hitters. They got to a lot of full counts, but he gets through it with 2 strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still a 1-0 lead for the Catch. We'll be right back on the OC Riptide Network. Stay tuned. Top of the lineup for the Riptide, and it's a new hitter. In for Parente is going to be Tate Shaw, the man from the University of Texas. So they're making some changes to the lineup. We're in the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-0 lead for the Catch. Only 2 hits for both teams. It has been a pitcher's duel, to say the least. 11 straight sent down by Shenfield for the Riptide, and no runs across for Martin. The first pitch is a 2-seamer that runs outside, 1-0. The lefty Shaw coming in for his first at-bat. Got 2 at-bats yesterday in their 14-2 win. Went 0 for 2, looking to get his first hit of the series. 1-0 is down low, 2-0. Pinch hitter shot, the 2-0. Another fastball that stays inside, 3-0. And now Shaw can do what he likes. Shaw likes the middle in. I'm going to whisper that in case they can hear me over there on the mound. He's very unlikely to swing unless it's exactly where he wants it, the 3-0. Inside once again, Shaw takes, and he'll head on down to first. First walk of the game that we've seen from either team. A 4-pitch walk. Now Jackson Williams is going to come up to the plate. Last time up, Williams struck out looking. It was the first strikeout for Martin. The third baseman, Ortiz, in on the grass, maybe expecting a sacrifice bunt to put a runner in scoring position with only 1 away. Another pickoff attempt, very close, but Shaw dives back in safely, getting his uniform a little dirty. We've already seen a couple of very close pickoffs for Martin. He's picked off Miranda and was very close to the pulse. And the bluff steal goes in the dirt. Nice block by Soria. It gets away, and now he's going to try for third. And he's going to get there. Very aggressive base running by Shaw, who ends up taking third in a situation where he was almost hung out to dry at second. Soria had him. It was a nice block. It got it into his glove quickly and into his throwing hand. He was beat by about 5 feet, but it gets away from the shortstop, Booman, who was there to cover the bag. Gets away from him ever so slightly, and Shaw took that opportunity to take third. Now with nobody out, there's a runner 90 feet away from home. And that's what you always gotta know if you're a player. Never hesitate when you're on the base pass. Never hesitate. If you hesitate, you're going to get thrown out. Shaw probably should have been thrown out, but it's because he didn't hesitate. Put some pressure on Booman at short and Soria behind the plate. And that's why he was able to get to second and then didn't hesitate again. That was only a couple feet away from the shortstop, Booman, but was able to take third, dribbled it off to the right side, foul. 1-2, the count remains to Williams. Williams has a tendency to strike out. Very aggressive at the plate, but makes very good contact as well. can't say that being aggressive is a bad thing. Martin facing his first real trouble of the day. First time he's had somebody in scoring position. The 1-2. Fastball up high just above the letters. 2-2, the count's even. So the leadoff walk might come around to harm the catch. A stolen base and an error by Boomin has Shaw at third. Shaw, the pinch hitter for Parente. Williams, the 2-2. Swung on in a high fly ball, shallow center field, moving back on it is Boomin. But it's going to be the center fielder, Pacoda, who calls off Boomin and makes the catch. It wasn't deep enough for Shaw to tag, so he will remain at third. With one away now, but still, anything with only one away will be able to score him. A deep fly ball, a ground ball, a base hit, very likely to score Shaw. But as we all know, as the Riptide fans know, Fletcher, very dangerous and is very capable of doing more than just driving in one here. Already has a 1 home run on the campus. That was to right field. I'm not sure if you can see it on the stream, but there's actually a netting out beyond right field. And the netting is about 20 feet beyond the fence, and you can see right field 330. Hit it to straightaway right field, so about 345. So he hit it about 365 if it was at the bottom of the netting. But he hit it 3/4 of the way up the netting. And you look at a man his size, and you wouldn't expect him to do something like that. And I asked him, how does somebody with your frame, how are they able to hit it? That was about 420 feet. Or that's what I would estimate it to be if my calculations are correct. 1-1 the count to him. And he said it's all in the hips, and I asked him to give me a little bit of a demonstration. And he just sort of wiggled his hips at me, and I said, well, that's not exactly what I was hoping for, but, I mean, that'll do. The 1-1 is inside, 2-1 the count now. A pair of Razorbacks back-to-back, Williams and Fletcher. The 2-1 swung on and missed. Foul tipped into the glove of Soria. 2-2, the count's even. Fletcher only 7 games played and already with numerous home runs. He's got great power. Actually led the SEC in home runs for freshmen with 12. Here's a ground ball to the second baseman Whitcomb. This will be enough to score Shaw. Fletcher is out, but a run comes across, and the Riptide have this game tied up 1-1. The only person playing in was Omar Ortiz at third. He would have been the only person that would have had enough time to try to throw out Shaw at home. But good timing by Fletcher, was able to get it back up the middle to the people playing back, Boomin and Whitcomb. That's going to be enough to score Shaw. So the leadoff walk comes around to haunt the catch. They have this game tied up with 2 away. It's Polson. First pitch is dribbled to the right side, foul. Soria gave chase, and he's still giving chase. He's going to pick it up and just return it to the home plate umpire. So Martin gives up his first run. I'm going to say that's unearned after the error by Boomin allowed him to get to third. Last time up, Polson singled on 1 pitch. And then after that, he got doubled off. A line drive out by Polson. Polson didn't see it, didn't know where it was, and it got caught by Pacoda in center, who was able to throw it back to Garrett at first to put 2 away and nobody on. And that's tough because they had a leadoff single, which is pretty dangerous. But it was all for naught because of the base running mistake, but Polson looking to make up for it here. The 0-2 two-seam fastball runs outside, 1-2. Polson from the University of Hawaii. Only played 1 year there and has already made himself a staple. He's a great fielder, and that's normally at first base. Nobody knew he could play third base until he came here. I remember the story of when it happened. We were traveling up to Santa Barbara, against the Foresters. And this was after the Riptide's first win of the season in league play against the same Foresters team. And Peterson and Glenn Walker, they were looking around. They were thinking, man, we're not going to have everybody for the day. We need more infielders and outfielders. We need people who can play multiple positions. We have a multitude of first basemen. They had Polshin, Steering, and Polson. So they went around to them and they said, hey, can anybody else catch fly balls? And they go up to Polson. Polson said, I can't catch fly balls, but I played third base in high school. And they said, just because you played third base in high school doesn't mean you can play third base. That one's high and outside with a fastball, 3-2, the count runs full. And he said, I'd beg to differ. But then they went up to Blair Lewis immediately after. Blair Lewis, one of the pitchers for the Riptide, and they said, can you catch fly balls? And he said, well, I played first base in high school. And so that made Polson sort of laugh. But, hey, it was Polson who ended up getting the last laugh, as he has really proved himself a viable defensive option at the hot corner. And Peterson and Walker have played in there ever since his first appearance there. So they've really underestimated his ability and are glad that he could do so. He has become much more valuable to his already insanely high ceiling for the Riptide. So the 2-out walk has Polson at first for Jake Polshin. First pitch from Martin. Outside, 1-0. Jake Polshin played one season at Mount San Jacinto College for the coach Steve Alonso, where he hit .332 with a .450 OBP. Here's a pop-up on the infield, a mile high. Boomin tries to get it behind the pitcher's mound, does the pop-up dance, and gets it for out number 3. So one run comes across, a leadoff walk, and a stolen base scored Shaw. And we have ourselves a game. It's tied 1-1 as we head to the top of the 5th. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Seven, eight, 9 in the catches lineup coming up against Shenfield out there for his 5th inning of work, and still the bullpen for the Riptide looks rather empty. So, as I said at the beginning of the game, perhaps Shenfield can eat up a couple of innings and really give the bullpen a much-needed rest. Tiger Peterson, Glenn Walker, and Marcus Pointer have a reputation in the league of using their pitchers very effectively, but using them a lot, so they could really use this long rest. First pitch. Low and outside corner with a 2-seam fastball. 0-1 the count. 11 straight sent down via 3 strikeouts. Got 2 of them in the last inning in the 4th. Slider, big swing and a miss. He was about a foot away from that one. 0-2. Ever ever since that first inning where he allowed a one-out double to Mitch Booman, he has really settled in and really found himself, Shenfield has, and has really used that slider, changeup, fastball combination to its greatest effect. Has even thrown the curveball there. I didn't know he had a curveball, but we've seen it a couple times today, and he's been able to do that. He's been able to use those to their fullest potential, let me say that. 1-2 the count to Whitcomb, awaiting the delivery. He toes the rubber and fires. A slider low and outside, 2-2. Whitcomb, 0 for 1 on the day. He popped out to the first baseman, Fletcher. That was in the second. The 2-2. Two-seam fastball stays outside. 3-2, it's full. So from 0-2 to 3-2, very good patience from Whitcomb. Whitcomb, a 250 average on the year from Newberry Park, California. And here's a ground ball into the 56 hole, but Polson has it on 2 hops and gets it to Fletcher for out number 1. So the soft ground ball gave enough time for the third baseman Polson to get there. Phillip made a nice backup. He was really hauling to get there. Polson just leisurely stepped over to his left and made the play. Shenfield has really been using that slider most of the time. Actually threw that slider 4 times of those 6 pitches. Now the 8 spot, Kyle Soria coming up to the plate. First pitch, fastball at the knees, 0-1. Wind blowing slightly to right field, blowing out a little bit. The 0-1, two-seamer. He backdoored it. 0-2. Soria's made a couple of nice plays behind the plate. Had a great block in the 4th. Would have really been very good to stop Shaw, who was trying to steal a bag. And he got it very quickly, got it in his glove, and got it out of his hand extremely quickly. It looked like it was going to bounce a couple feet in front of him, but then just popped up quickly and threw it down to the shortstop, Booman, who wasn't able to handle it. And because of that, Shaw was able to get to third, which would later be the reason that he came around. Check swing and a miss there from Soria. The slider gets him. Another strikeout. Grab some pines, Soria. 2 away now, nobody on. And 13 straight sent down by Shenfield. He has really come into himself. You have to imagine what's going through the catchers' minds right now. They come back and they say, look for the slider. And they say, that's what we've been looking for the whole time. And it doesn't matter. Shenfield's been able to set him down with pretty much primarily that pitch. First pitch was a bunt attempt. He pulled it back, but it doesn't matter. It was in there for a strike. And the 0-1 was swung on and missed. Another slider. 0-2 the count now. He's like Sergio Romo. Back when Sergio Romo was with the Giants. We have a Sergio Romo fan in the crowd. I appreciate you. He's a legend from where I'm from. And the 0-2, a changeup on the outside corner, gets Picoto looking. That's out number 3, 2 via the strikeout. Grab some pine, Picoto. We head to the bottom of the 5th. A tie game, 1-1. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. bottom of the fifth at the University of Concordia in Irvine. This Concordia University Center, the Blue Pyramid, as I like to call, looms large out beyond right field. It's going to be the designated hitter, David Miranda, coming up against Martin, who's back out there for his fifth inning of work. A 1-1 ball game. The first pitch, fastball on the outside corner. Miranda thought about it, but it's 0-1. It's been a tale of two games, and it's been a pitcher's duel. No fencing swords, but still been a very good duel. Whereas with Shenfield, he struggled in the first and has since then not allowed a single base runner. It's almost been sort of the opposite for Martin, who really went through the first extremely well, struggled through the second, but was able to get through it without anybody left on base. The 1-1 is outside, the two-seam fastball, 2-1 the count now. He's been able to work his way out of trouble ever since the first. The third was good, but then gave up the run in the fourth. And we are halfway through the game, and still only 2 runs across, one for each team. And these are two teams that have really been more offensive teams throughout the season. The Riptide put up 14 yesterday, and they've put up more than 10 runs on several occasions. The 3-1 is a changeup that drops below the knee, so the 3-1 leads to a walk, and we have another leadoff walk, second time in as many innings. And we'll see if this can lead to the same result, and perhaps the Riptide will be able to take the lead. It's going to be the new guy, Dean Miller, number 20 from UC Riverside. I've done a couple of games with the Big West Network. No baseball games, but I have worked basketball and soccer games as well in Riverside. Nice campus. They have a great basketball court as well. Pickoff attempt there, but Miranda slides back in safely. We've already seen Miranda get picked off once. Does not want to have that happen twice. That happens twice to you in one game. You're going to have a stern talking to from your head coach afterward. Something unique about Miller's stance. Before the pitch comes, there's a breaking ball outside corner 0-1. But before the pitch comes, Miller leans back almost, very tall, stands up, leans the bat on his shoulder, and almost leans backwards, sort of. Staying on his tiptoes. I've never seen a stance like that. Ball's in the dirt. Miranda's going to try for a second. The throw down is not in time. It was to the right of second base. Miranda gets in there. Now they have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Miranda was holding his left arm for a little bit there. It looked like he might be hurt, but now he seems to be all right. And now Soria is going to go out and talk to his pitcher, Martin. So a good jump by Miranda. They've been very aggressive on the base paths, and it's worked out to them to their benefit. Second stolen base for them. Man on base, Aaron Greenfield. Bullpen for the catch is going. Seems like Connor Davis. The 1-1 is fouled off to the right side, back and out of play. 1-2. Man on second is David Miranda. A leadoff walk. Second time in as many innings. Might come around to haunt them once again. The bullpen for the Riptide is going as well. We'll let you know who that is as soon as we get word. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Breaking ball. Miller swung over the top of that. First strikeout against the Riptide since the very first inning when Martin got Jackson Williams looking. With one away, there's still a man in scoring position, so still in good form are the Riptide. Still a good chance to score some runs. It's Aaron Greenfield. Greenfield 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch. A bunt attempt, but he flails at it and misses. 0-1. Miranda started taking off a little bit there, but luckily the safety squeeze was on, not the suicide squeeze. Normally that's for somebody going from third to home, but that can work for any sort of sacrifice bunt situation. Miranda was almost a third of the way to third before that ball even got to the plate, and then headed back when he saw that it was missed by Greenfield. 0-1 the count, the 0-1. Breaking ball that drops below the knees. 1-1, the count's even. Bailey Martin. His first name's Bailey, last name Martin, and he's from Bryan, the city of Bryan, Ohio. And goes to the University of Miami in Ohio. 1-1, the count to Greenfield. The pitch. Swung on and popped up. Shallow right field, just beyond the infield, is Whitcomb, who makes it a couple steps on the grass. So 2 away and a man in scoring position. The baton is passed to the 9th spot, Bo Phillip. Bo Phillip, the only player for the Riptide that has appeared in every game, and that streak came to an end yesterday. He was not in the lineup yesterday, so he got a very well-deserved day of rest. He's got a 286 average on the year, and he has very good speed and very good gap power as well, a very dangerous combination. He's got a triple and 2 doubles among his 12 hits and 11 RBI. You take a look at the CCL leaderboards in terms of RBI. In the top 25, the Riptide have 5 players, which actually leads all California Collegiate League teams. First pitch, a breaking ball, low and outside corner, 0-1. Phillip himself is 0 for 1. He flew out to the left fielder Robbins in the 3rd inning. Here he looks to get a base hit and drive home the run. Second baseman Whitcomb shading over, waiting for a possible pickoff attempt. From the stretch, Martin toes the rubber and delivers. A breaking ball that falls outside. 1-1. We have it even again. Waiting on deck, top of the lineup, Tate Shaw. Shaw came in the 4th for Joey Parente. And he was the man who would come around to score after a walk in last inning, the 4th. We're in the 5th right now, looking to take the lead. The man at second is David Miranda, a 1-1 ball game. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the inside corner, 1-2. Phillip from San Joaquin Delta Junior College. He's got some of the nicest style on this Riptide team. And that's tough for me to say because almost every time I see these guys, they're in their warm-up material or their batting practice material before the game. I rarely ever see them in non-baseball outfits. But then when you see Phillip, I'd have to say Bo Phillip and Seth Jordan really take the cake when it comes to nice style, at least in my opinion. And I'm no judge when it comes to that. I'm no fashion judge, but Phillip got himself a nice chain around his neck, and he has some nice hair as well. He dyes it. You can't see because of the helmet he's got on right now, but he actually has a little bit of blonde at the top of his head. It's 2-2 the count now. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a man on second. Swung on and missed by Phillip. Second strikeout of the inning for Martin. That's going to send down the Riptide. We're going to head to the 6th. Still a 1-1 ball game. Only 2 hits for both teams. Is this a pitcher's duel or what? We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. We're in the top of the sixth here at the University of Concordia Irvine, and the new pitcher is in for the Riptide, and the catcher's saying, "Thank goodness." It's Tim Holdgraffer, another man from Grossmont JC, and it's ironic because that's exactly what Hayden Shenfield was. He was gross, man. Absolutely nasty, striking out 5 catch players. First pitch is a strike, low and outside corner. 0-1 to the top of the lineup, Graham Robbins. Final line for Hayden Shenfield. 5 innings pitched, 69 pitches. And of those 69 pitches, more than 50 of them were first strikes. So he absolutely pounded the strike zone and was able to get through on 2 hits allowed, no walks, and only 1 run. It was earned. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2 the count. A nice take by Robbins. And now his fellow JC teammate is going to take it over and try to close this one out. Or maybe not close it out, but he's going to try to provide the Riptide with more great pitching. The 1-2 pitch. They're going to say he did go around the appeal. The first base umpire says he did. So, Holdgraffer picking up right where Shenfield left off. 3rd straight strikeout for Riptide pitching. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Mitch Boomin. Boomin 1 for 2 on the day. He absolutely boomed his first at-bat, a double into the right center field gap. He would come around to score in the first from the sacrifice fly by Evan Sandman. And that was the lead until the 4th when Tate Shaw led off the inning with a walk. A high, deep fly ball left center field. Shaw and Greenfield converging, but it's going to be Greenfield who calls off the center fielder Shaw and makes the catch for out number 2. So 1 pitch and we have the second out. And Holdgraffer working very quickly. Now the designated hitter, Jonathan Dukoff, to come up. 0 for 1 on the day. He got hit by a pitch, would get his way to 3rd, but would not come around to score in the 1st. And that was against Shenfield. First inning, the only inning that Shenfield allowed any base runners. Also allowed that 1 run, and that's where we sit, a 1-1 ball game. First pitch, fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Dukoff, very good friends, actually roomed with another player in the CCL, Theron Kay from the Conejo Oaks. 2 of them played together at Baylor. And if I know a thing or two about Theron, he played water polo with me in high school. And he and I had these 2 cheetah Speedos. And ever since we had those, we've sort of messed around with people in college. And something that Dukoff told me was that every now and again, Theron would bust into his room with only the cheetah Speedo on and say, "Hey man, you got any milk?" And it was just one of the running jokes that they had between the 2 of them. Count is 1-2 to Dukoff. A swing and a miss, gets in the dirt. Polshin wasn't able to tag him, but he's going to toss it on over to Fletcher for out number 3. So, 3 very quick at-bats, and Holdgraffer picking up right where Shenfield left off with 2 strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still a 1-1 ball game. Riptide looking to take the lead. We'll be right back on the OC Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. We're in the bottom of the 6th, top of the lineup for the Riptide coming up. Bailey Martin still out there for his 6th inning of work, looking to get that quality start. It's going to be Tate Shaw. Shaw is 0 for 0. He only has a walk. That was in the 4th when he came in for Joey Parente. So the Texas Longhorn, he's He's going to try to get some run support for Holgraffer. First pitch, two-seam fastball, tails outside, 1-0. And the 1-0. A fastball that stays outside once again. It's going to be 2-0. Martin has seemingly lost a little bit more of his control every inning. He's had a lot of pitches. Compare that to Shenfield. Fastball outside once again, 3-0. Shenfield got through all 5 innings in 69 pitches. You want to try to be at 75 pitches about when you're through 5. On this side of the ball, Bailey Martin through the first 5 was at 79. So his arm is a little bit more tired, perhaps. The 3-0. Up high. That's ball 4. So for the second straight time, Shaw is going to be on base with a 4-pitch walk. And if the saying if the saying is in fact true, history may repeat itself and Shaw will come around to score, right? That's exactly how it works. It has to happen. That's what I'm hoping will happen at least. Riptide have a 2-game win streak going. You can call it 2 games with a tie as well that will be finished up later. They lost the final game of their 3-game set against the Royal Seco, which ended a 5-game win streak for the Riptide. So they lost and have since then picked it up right where they were left off. And they are now 8-5 on the year to lead the North Division of the CCL. And they lead by a full game over Arroyo Seco. They currently sit at 4th in the entire California Collegiate League. If you want to get into specific things, Shaw takes off. The throw from Soria is high. A nice stop from Booman didn't allow it to get to the outfield, but Shaw's going to slide in there safely for his second stolen base of the game. But as I was saying, the Riptide, currently at 8-5, are 2.5 games back of the first place team in the entire CCL, the Neptune Beach Pearl, who are 10-2. The South Division, not been the toughest division through this year, but they are the closest division. Of all the divisions, the South, from first to last, is only separated by 4.5 games, so it's really anybody's division at this point. Whereas you look at the North Division, between the Walnut Creek Crawdads and the first place Neptune Beach Pearl, there's 8.5 games. So really it's been a tough division, and that's one of the reasons why the Riptide look to improve every single day. They don't want to get too comfortable because any one of these teams could come back to haunt them and possibly take the division lead, and that's going to be a huge thing for the CCL playoffs. There we saw a meeting on the mound. No move made by the head coach, Ben Orr. But the bullpen is going. We were talking about Connor Davis, who was warming up in the last inning, and it seems like he's in there once again. Shaw is the man on second, and it's a 2-0 count to the 2-spot Jackson Williams, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and the fly out to Pacoda in center. 2-0's the count and the delivery. Fastball down low, 3-0. The count. Williams waits for his pitch. That's not his pitch, but it is a fastball on the inside half of the plate, 3-1. First strike that we've seen from Martin in this half inning. One of the greatest sports stories I've ever heard is about the fans at Texas Tech, and I'm not sure if I've told this story already on the air, but it's such a great story I'd love to tell it again. The 3-1 pitch, fastball just inside. Williams is going to head on down to first with his first walk of the afternoon. He gets on base for the first time this afternoon. Now they have 2 on, nobody out for Dominic Fletcher. And now it looks like they're going to make a pitching change. They have somebody heading out there. It looks like they are going to make a change. You're only allowed one pitching visit per inning, and Connor Davis is going to come in. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'll get back to that story later. I promise. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Connor Davis is the new guy from Creighton University. He's going to face Dominic Fletcher with 2 on and nobody out. Tate Shaw standing on second, and Williams is the man over at first. And Fletcher has a chance to do some serious damage in this tie ball game. He has a chance to break it wide open with another home run, possibly. First pitch. Low and away. 1-0 to Fletcher. Looks like Fletcher was taking all the way there, trying to feel out Davis. Davis coming in for Martin. Martin, 5+ innings pitched of 1-run ball. Had some troubles controlling his pitches and walked a couple, but only 2 hits allowed. Very good duel between the 2 pitchers who both went 5. And now it goes to the bullpens. The second pitch was a 2-seamer on the inside, 1-1. Something about Creighton that I know a thing or two about is that Doug McDermott is from there. Doug McDermott, 5th all-time in terms of NCAA Division I basketball point scoring. This one's fouled off to the left side into the Riptide bullpen dugout. That went very fast, and some of the players didn't have enough reaction time to get out of the way. Luckily, it seems like everybody's all right. And actually, our PA crew there, that ball was right in front of them. They got a little scared as well. 1-2, the count now to Fletcher. And Doug McDermott, former Chicago Bull, now a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And there is the Thunder. Tries to get Fletcher to swing over the top of that breaking ball, but it falls just below the knees, and we're even at 2. Fletcher, strong pull hitter, but can hit it to opposite fields. Doesn't choke up on the bat with 2 strikes. The 2-2 is another slider. Tried to back foot him there. 3-2, the count runs full. The one thing you don't like if you're the opposing team's coach when you're facing the Riptide is the fact that they have so many left-handed hitters. Parente, Shaw, Fletcher. The 3-2 is a 2-seam fastball. Backdoors him, started out of the zone, fell in, and strikes out Fletcher. So 6 pitches out of the bullpen. First hitter that Davis sees. But he gets him out. There's still 2 on and only 1 away for Polson. And Polson has had himself quite a day. Gotten on base twice, once via a single and once via a walk. Both of those coming against Martin. The story I was talking about was at the beginning of this inning, there were 7 straight balls thrown by Bailey Martin. And there are a couple players on the OC Riptide from Texas Tech University. Caleb Killian and Connor Beck are the 2 that come to mind. And something that the Texas Tech fans do, there's a ground ball into the 34 hole. Shaw is going to round third. He's going to score. The throw goes to third, and it's not in time. Williams will be at third, and now we have runners at first and third. 1 out and a 1 run across. It's a 2-1 lead for the Riptide. Second base hit for Polson. So what the Texas Tech fans do whenever somebody pitches whenever the away team throws a 4-pitch walk, is they will every one of them will start doing tomahawk motions and chanting ball 5, and then if they throw another ball, they go ball 6, ball 6. And a couple of years ago, somebody from Mississippi State, I believe, was the school, threw 12 straight balls, and even the broadcaster said, I felt bad for that guy. That is tough to deal with. And it just goes to show how fans can affect the game. You hear that all the time with Roracle Arena and the Golden State Warriors, the Seattle Seahawks. And even the St. Louis Cardinals considered to have one of the best fan bases in all of sports. And it's fouled straight back into the chain link fence, hit the pole. 1-1, the count to Polson. We'll see if there's any first and third shenanigans going on. It doesn't seem to be so. Polson has good speed for a man his size. And the 1-1 is a breaking ball, it looked like. Might have been a 2-seamer. Can't really tell. It's tougher to tell the movement on the pitch with a submariner or a low 3/4 release like Davis is. But the count is 2-1. I know that. And the pitch up high with another fastball. 3-1 the count. We're in the hitter's count. So he's behind the count. Tries to pick off Polson, but nothing doing there. That's actually a very smart move by Davis. If you recall, when Polson was on first in the second, in the 3-1 count, Polson took off and tried to steal. The 3-1 delivery is outside, so Polson is going to walk. Third walk of the inning for SoCal pitching. Now David Miranda, the DH, going to come up. He's 1 for 1 as well, a single and a walk. And what's been the case for the Riptide the entire season is they've had trouble going up against the starters. But as soon as the starter comes out, they've been able to pretty much lay down the smack on most relievers. Now, that wasn't the case yesterday, and that hasn't been the case the entire season, but it has been the case on multiple occasions. Here's a line drive down the left field line, slicing foul and out of play. Bases are loaded. On third is Jackson Williams. Second, Polson. First, Polshin. Man at the plate is Miranda, only one away and already one run across. Ortiz over on the grass, possibly trying to cut off the runner at home, should he need to do so. The 0-1 slider tried to back foot Miranda, but Miranda laid off. 1-1, it's even. And now Soria is going to go out and talk to his man, Davis, on the mound. So the meeting was quick, probably just going over signs or trying to calm him down. We'll get back to it. Counts 1-1 with 1 out. Davis redshirted during the 2016 season. For high school, he played 3 varsity years at Blue Springs South, and he currently holds the record for appearances and saves for his high school. 32 appearances and 7 saves. He was an All-American. He has been a great pitcher. Here's a high, deep fly ball to right field. Moving back on this Miranda. Back at the wall. He is gone. A grand slam for David Miranda. Really blows this game open. So Miranda goes boomstick, and all of a sudden it's a 6-1 ball game. The Riptide lead. Golly smokes, as Robin would say. That was legendary. I made a deal with a couple of the other players before a couple games ago. I said, if anybody hits a grand slam, I'm going to give you $50. I didn't say that to Miranda, and I wonder if anybody's going to tell him. First pitch to Dean Miller outside. Now a 6-1 ball game. They have blown it open. David Miranda. And already the bullpen going for the catch. The 1-0 is a fastball at the knees, even at 1. And the 1-1 pitch is fouled to the right and out of play, 1-2. We're in the pitcher's advantage. Davis looks frustrated out there on the mound. Physically, he's doing a couple things, just sort of a little more violent with every motion. Miller lines this to left field. Robbins giving chase a long run. He slides, and he can hold on to it. Miller coming around first. He's going to try for second, and he will get in there with a double. So a grand slam and a double. Miller standing on second with 1 away only. They have another runner in scoring position trying to pile on, and I might run out of room on my scorebook. Aaron Greenfield to come up now. Only had 2 hits in the entirety of the game before this inning, but they have scored 5 runs in this, the bottom of the 6th. And they have 6 runs on 5 hits. First pitch to Greenfield, a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. The 0-1 to Greenfield. Breaking ball just above the letters. Dave is not happy with that call, but it's 1-1. It's even now. Greenfield batting with a man in scoring position. Greenfield got the start yesterday, went 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. And he had his first home run of the year. And that gets away from Soria, the breaking ball. That's going to allow Miller to move up to third, now just 90 feet away. Greenfield has another opportunity to get some more RBIs. 2-1 the count. Awaiting the delivery from Davis. The pitch. Fouled off to the left side, just in front of the Riptide bullpen. Infield is in for the catch. Everybody there on the grass. For most of the game, it was just Ortiz over at third who was on the grass, but now the entire infield much closer, playing with fire a little bit, but they need to if they want a chance to win this game. 6-1, the Riptide lead. A grand slam earlier in the inning by David Miranda. The 2-2 is outside, 3-2. Greenfield, 161 average, 6 RBIs on the year. He is a run manufacturer, not necessarily going to get base hits with nobody on, but he becomes much better. Goes way outside. They tried to get him at the plate, and they get him. That ball got to the backstop. Miller tried to take home, but a very quick jump out of the squat by Soria and good awareness by Davis. Guns down Miller at the plate. But in the meantime, afterwards, Davis dropped the ball after the tag, so Miller is still out. But Davis dropped it, and Greenfield, being very aware, decided to take second in the meantime. So they have another runner in scoring position, now with 2 outs, in the bottom of the lineup, Bo Phillip coming up. They're going to go to the lefty from the bullpen. We'll let you know more about the new pitcher when we come back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. New pitcher in, still the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-1, the Riptide lead. A grand slam by David Miranda. Coming up against Bo Phillip, the lefty, Chad Boudreau. Coming in of relief for Connor Davis. Couldn't get through his only inning of work. First pitch is popped up. Shallow center field. Pacoda has a beat, makes a tent, and makes the catch for out number 3. So one pitch, they get the final out of the 6th. We head to the top of the 7th, a 6-1 lead. Riptide really blew this one open. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. It's a brand new ball game after the bottom of the sixth, the 6-1 lead for the Riptide. And I've said it like 4 times already, but my oh my, grand slam by David Miranda. Holdgraffer returns out there for his second inning of work. First pitch to Garrett is a fastball low and outside corner, 0-1. Second pitch is grounded to the left side, foul, 0-2. Garrett currently 1 for 2 on the day. Got a single in the first and then struck out looking his next time up against Shenfield. And here he strikes out, a changeup over the top of it. A nice series of pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Tim Holdgraffer. Gets him swinging for out number 1. One away here and nobody on. First pitch, bunted. Nice play by Polshin to get out in front of it. And it is in time, a very close play. They get Salmon at first. A nice play by Polshin and good communication between Polshin and Holdgraffer, who were both converging on it in front of the plate. But they let Polshin get it. He had a better angle, came around his body and was able to get it just in time for out number 2. So 1 pitch and 2 outs, only 4 pitches in the entire inning, and Tim Holdgraffer has really been effective thus far. He's only thrown 13 pitches. 11 of them have been for strikes, now 12 for 14. As the first pitch to Ortiz was in there, a breaking ball. There's his first ball of the inning. 1-1. That was a breaking ball low and away. Ortiz, 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out and grounded out to Polshin at third. The 1-1, a slider that ends up at the knees, 1-2. 19 straight have been set down by the Riptide. Nobody has gotten none since the very first inning for the catch. That one's fouled off to the right side. Count will remain 1-2. Bullpen is going. They have a lefty in there. Looks like Seth Jordan, perhaps. 1-2 the count. Fastball at the knees. Got him a called strike 3. Gets him looking. Grab some pine, Ortiz. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Oh, everybody feeling good. Time to stretch. 7th inning stretch time. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. A 6-1 lead for the Riptide. Stay tuned. Leading off the bottom of the 7th, it's going to be Tate Shaw, top of the lineup for the Riptide, going up against Chad Boudreau. He's coming in for his second inning of work. He pitched 2/3 after Connor Davis really struggled to get anybody out and allowed a grand slam to David Miranda. First pitch to Shaw, breaking ball that ends up just inside, really broke in there about a country mile, probably a foot actually. Almost into the strike zone, 1-0. Second pitch of the at-bat, fastball just below the knees. Boudreau unhappy with that call, but it's 2-0 to Shaw. Shaw's been very patient in his 2 at-bats. The bat hasn't even left his shoulder. He's taken 10 straight balls. 2-0 is swung on and popped up. This might be playable. Moving back onto the Soria. And there is room. And he makes a nice catch behind the plate and a nice effort by him. That's directly at the sun. So well done. Second time he's done that, and the second time he's made a nice play on it. First time it was against Parente, so actually he's done it twice against the top of the order. So now it's going to bring up the number 2 spot, Jackson Williams, with 1 away and nobody on. Williams 0 for 2 on today with a walk that he would come around to score on. The grand slam from Miranda in the 7th. First pitch, big swing and a miss by Williams. Williams struck out in the first, looking against Martin, and then flew out to the center fielder Pacoda in the 4th. The 0-1 is drilled into center field, pretty much right at Pacoda. He comes in slightly and makes the catch for out number 2. 2 gone now. So now the first baseman, normally an outfielder, but Dominic Fletcher is going to step up to the plate. Fletcher, 0 for 3. That's not usually what we see from him. Has above a 300 batting average coming into today. A lot of home runs, and now that Miranda has one, he might be thinking, hey, I got to prove I'm still the power guy. Miranda from the University of Arkansas. The Razorback takes the first pitch, a breaking ball that ends up on the outside corner, 0-1. Defense shaded to the right, the shortstop moving right behind second base. The 0-1 is popped up on the left side with room. Ortiz trying to find it, and he does. He had trouble, but ended up getting it. So a very quick 1-2-3 for Chad Bourdreau. Gets them in order, 1-2-3. We head to the top of the 8th, still a 1-6 ball game. The Riptide lead, looking to get their 3rd straight victory on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. Seven, eight, 9 coming up for the catch. Ever since the first, they have not been able to get somebody on base. It has been, let me do some quick math here, 20 straight catch players sent down by Riptide pitching. Tim Holdgraffer moving out there for his 3rd inning of work. First pitch to Whitcomb was outside, 1-0. Some new defensive changes for the Riptide. Moving out and right is Connor Beck. He's replacing David Miranda. Miranda has earned himself some relaxation time, and now standing at 3rd is Hunter Biggie, and Biggie pitched yesterday, so now he's going to get a turn at the field. Going to see some ground balls at the hot corner, the 1-1 delivery. Foul ball, dribbled straight back, 1-2. Holdgraffer and Shenfield have both been spectacular in this one. The 1-2 drilled to left field. That one's going to be fair down the line, and it's going to reach the wall. Whitcomb is going to head to second. Greenfield gets to it, and it's going to be a stand-up leadoff double for Shea Whitcomb. First hit we've seen from the catch players since the first. Now with the man in scoring position and nobody out, it's going to be Kyle Soria. Soria 0 for 2. Ground ball to Phillip at short, and then a strikeout against Shenfield. First pitch, a slider that breaks in there. 0-1. Holgraffer out of the stretch for the first time. He steps off. So both players, Shenfield and Holgraffer from Grossmont JC. Second pitch, another breaking ball. Looks like a slider once again that goes below the knees. 1-1, the count's even. And the 1-1. Dribbled off the leg of Soria. Had to drop to his knee, but he seems to be all right. He's tough. And now he has his hands on his knees, and he might not be all right after all. Seems like he's going to stay in there and try to take the last pitches of the at-bat. One and two is the count. Still waiting for him to come back in there. On deck is supposed to be Nate Bakota, but it looks like it's Jimmy Jeffries. And the 1-2 is a ball outside. 2-2, the count's even. Jeffries from UAB, that is the University of Alabama, Birmingham. They were a Cinderella story in the NCAA March Madness tournament a couple years ago. Beat a 3 seed as a 14 seed. Here's a fly ball into center field. Giving chase is Shaw, right center field. Shaw slides and makes the catch. A spectacular diving catch by Shaw. Second time he's done something like that. And he has really flashed the leather. He's a Longhorn, but that got... I had something in mind about Longhorns and leather, and I just lost it. But either way, he showed some very good leather out there in center field for out number 1. Runner does move on over to third, but there is one away now, and a 6-1 lead for the Riptide. Shaw was even shading to the left of second base at that time. Had to make a long run, and Beck, the other man from Texas, he's from Texas Tech. He was also converging on it, but you got to give way to the center field, and that's why Shaw's out there in center. He commands the outfield, really takes advantage, and knows when he has a play on it. And there, that's a spectacular play. So the man at the plate is going to be Jimmy Jeffries. Jeffries, 6'3", 215. He's a big boy. Listed as a catcher, giving room for Soria. Soria's been behind the plate this game. Holgraffer delivers the first pitch. A big swing and a miss, a yuckadoo hack as I like to call it, 0-1. He was trying to hit a 5-run home run. There's only one man on base. The 0-1 count to Jeffries, the pitch. Another big swing and a miss. He's really swinging out of his socks. He might not be wearing any socks because he know he'd lose them after those two swings. 0-2. Another defensive shift for the Riptide. And then another swing and a miss from Jeffries. So Holgraffer gets exactly what he needs to keep that runner at third. The 3-pitch strikeout. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. So the top of the lineup coming up for the catch now, Grant Robbins. Robbins 0 for 3 on the day. He bunted it back to the pitcher Shenfield, flew out to the left fielder Greenfield, and struck out. First pitch he sees, he pops it up to the left side, trying to give chase. It's Polshin, and he is not going to be able to get to it. It bounces off of the chain link fence and the backstop. So 0-1. That would have been a nice play. Polshin, as I like to say, And what he likes to say, he says he's got good wheels. A lot of times when you see him on second, you see a ground ball into right field or left field, and you think, oh, Polshin doesn't have the speed to get around third and score. And every time he does, he continues to amaze me every time because as somebody of his size and just where he plays on the field, here's another dribbler to the left side, 0-2 now. But Polshin, I was talking to him a little bit, and I said, it seems like you got some good wheels. And he said, I mean, yeah, I like to surprise some people. So he gave chase there, and we got awfully close to it. The 0-2, a fastball left up high above the eyes of Robbins. 1-2. Runner at third is Shea Whitcomb, a leadoff double that might not come around to score. This would be very efficient pitching by Holdgraffer if he's able to strand him. The 1-2, a slider. Tried to get him to chase, but it ends up just outside. A nice take from Robbins. It ends up 2-2. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a 6-1 ball game. The Riptide lead. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. A two-seamer gets Robbins swinging his second strikeout of the game. Holdgraffer's 4th strikeout of the contest. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Still a 6-1 ball game. The Riptide lead. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. So Chad Bourdreau returning out there for his second inning of work for the catch. And he faces the listed pitcher on the Riptide roster, Hunter Biggie from Harvard University, one of a few Ivy League men, along with Will Tomlinson from Brown. So the two of them might have a little bit of a rivalry there. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Biggie came in the last inning to play third base. No balls got hit to him, but I'd like to see if he could field a couple from third base. Yesterday, Biggie came in to pitch. He went 1 inning, no hits, no runs, so pretty much had himself a pretty good inning. The 1-0 was outside, 2-0 the count to him. So Polson has had himself a nice day, and he's going to relax now. Polson was 2 for 2 on the day with a walk. So Biggie looking to keep that streak going. It's 3-0 the count now. Something funny about Biggie. Before the game, a couple games ago, Mitch Andrews took over as and decided to create his own playlist for pregame rituals. Before that, it was just a couple country songs and stuff like that. And Andrew said, we want stuff that we want to listen to. And I'm not saying that they don't want to listen to country, but they were just like, can we have a couple more songs that we'd like? And one of the songs is the song Biggie, 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 Can't You See? And immediately everybody started thinking, was that song put on there specifically for Hunter Biggie? The 3-1, the breaking ball drops in there for strike 2. Everybody started thinking that, and Mitch refuses to tell any one of us, at least in the PA crew and myself. Andrew's not here today, as well as Will Proctor. They're not available off the bench. But hey, they got pitchers. Why not? Hunter Biggie drills this one to center field. Moving in on it is Pacoda, who makes the catch. Excuse me, that's actually Grant Robbins who moved over to center field. Pacoda came out in the last half inning and got pinch hit for by Jim Jeffries.
University number 8, Jake Polshin.
Now the catcher, Jake Polshin from Houston Baptist, going to come up. Polshin, 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. He would come around to score on the grand slam by David Miranda. First pitch, breaking ball, outside corner, 0-1. Polshin looking to pull it. The 0-1. Fastball outside corner. 1-1. In danger of having that hit streak end here today. Polshin got a base hit yesterday. 2 RBIs. Also walked. Scored 2 runs. Here he drills it high, deep, left center field. But gets knocked down, and they make the catch. 2 away. So I got really excited there. One, I want Polshin to extend his hit streak, but for a second off the bat, it sounded like a cannon, but just got maybe a little bit too on top of it. It gets maybe a quarter of an inch below that. It gets launched a little bit more. Polshin has very good strength. You can tell just by the size of them. He's also been able to hit a couple of them that have been able to one-hop off the wall here at the University of Concordia. The first pitch, outside, 1-0. This is Connor Beck in for David Miranda. Beck came in last half inning along with Hunter Biggie as a defensive swap. The 1-0, a breaking ball drops in there, 1-1. And Beck is looking a lot like Shenfield right now, using that breaking ball to a great potential, just having it drop in there and getting ahead of hitters with breaking balls. That's not normally something you see, but we've seen 2 pitchers like that. The 1-1 is fouled off to the left side. Nice play by Dean Miller over in the on-deck circle. 1-2 is the count, and a very effective curveball he's been using. One and two, the count to Dean Miller. He delivers fastball up high, 2-2. It's even. Beck. Fouled off to the right and out of play. I said Miller in the last pitch, excuse me. Miller's the man on deck. Had him in my head. I was thinking about that sweet play in the on-deck circle. Barehanded, no glove, 1 hop. Ooh, nice. Beck faces the 2-2 count. The deuces are wild. Fouled back right off the umpire's mask. Second time he's taken one off the mask. And that sounded pretty hard. Soria actually looked back and checked to make sure if he was all right. And he just shook it off, sort of said, yep, no big deal. Umpires are tough, man. I've seen a couple of plays. There was a game a couple days ago, Oakland A's versus New York Yankees. Foul ball to the right side, right off the first base umpire's leg. He just shook it off and flexed at everybody. It was incredible. The 2-2, take 2. Fly, right center field. Moving to it is Robbins. He's giving way to Sandman, who makes the catch for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for the catch, but it's still a 6-1 deficit for SoCal. The Riptide lead, and it's the last chance for the catch. They're down by 5, and they're going to need a miracle. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the Riptide. We're in the top of the ninth. He's looking to close it out, and it's Braxton Smith, the man who's going to play at Louisiana Tech next year, or La Tech for short. Spent the last 2 years playing at Louisiana State Eunice. He posted a .393 ERA with 7 wins and 4 losses. He had 2 complete games, and both of them were shutouts. And in 71 innings pitched, he had 88 strikeouts. So he has good strikeout material. That's about 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. First pitch. Inside. Actually, it's greater than that. It's about 11 strikeouts per 7 innings. So we should expect to see a strikeout here. First pitch was low and inside, though, 1-0. 6-1 ball game, the Riptide lead. No doubt who the player of the game is for the Riptide, at least on the offensive end. David Miranda, a grand slam in the 6th to really blow that game open. It was a 2-1 ball game at that time, and it was 1-1 before that inning. That one was a fastball at the knees, 1-1. The 1-1 flailed at, missed, a big cut, 1-2. From the windup, Smith delivers. In the dirt, nice block. 2-2. So the Louisiana State Eunices had them. The Louisiana State Eunice Bengals, had themselves a pretty good year, and but 5 of their guys actually left, and 2 of them are from Louisiana State Eunice. There's a line drive to center field. Phillip had a chance on it. Would have been a very tough play, but it gets into center field for a leadoff single. So Mitch Booman is on with the leadoff single, as I mentioned. His second hit of the ball game. He's now 2 for 4, and that's going to bring up the DH of Jonathan Dukoff. Dukoff 0 for 2 with a strikeout and the flyout to the center fielder Shaw. Got hit by a pitch in the first, and that first, the only time that the catcher been able to score. First pitch, low and inside with the fastball, 1-0. Smith from Vidor, Texas. A lot of guys from Texas here on this team. And the one thing I keep hearing about is because every time I come to a game, and a couple of the other players as well, is we always go, geez, it's so hot today. It's about 91, and it's been up to 97. And immediately, almost every time the Texas players say, this is nothing like it is in Texas. You guys are lucky. The 1-1, swung on and missed, 1-2. Man on first is Mitch Booman. Leadoff single. Waiting on deck, the first baseman, Stephen Garrett. The 1-2, fastball, inside corner. Freezes Dukoff and gets him looking. And grabs some pine, Dukoff. So now the first baseman, 1B, Stephen Garrett, going to come up to the plate. Prior to that single by Mitch Booman, he was the last catch player to get a base hit other than Shea Whitcomb in the 8th. Shea Whitcomb led off the 8th with a double, wouldn't come around to score. But before Shea Whitcomb led off the 8th with the double, it was Stephen Garrett, last person to get a hit. He's 1 for 3, a single in the first. And 2 strikeouts. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. Check swing. I'm going to say he did not go. 2-0. Short leadoff for Booman. The 2-0. Inside corner with a 2-seam fastball. Garrett thought about it but decided to take 2-1. Not his pitch. And that shows good patience from the hitter. I mean, when I played baseball, I wasn't very good. But something I always struggled with was patience. If it was a strike, I was swinging at it. There's a breaking ball inside corner and low, on the low and inside corner. 2-2 were even. But something I always struggled with was realizing that I still have time. I just thought if it's a strike, I have to swing because I don't want to fall behind. But that's what good hitters do. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped right back into Jake Polshin's glove. So back-to-back strikeouts for Braxton Smith. The runner is still at first, but now 2 away. So they're down to their final out, and it's Evan Sandman, the man who has the RBI. The RBI came via sacrifice fly in the first. And he struck out and then bunted, and was almost a single for Sandman. But it was a nice play by Polshin to barely get him at first. First pitch, fastball right down Main Street, 0-1. The 0-1 delivery. There he's going fielder indifference. They're not even going to throw. Nobody was there to cover second base. They're up 6-1. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Riptide. 1 run on 4 hits for the Catch. 1-1 the count to Sandman. Smith, the righty, delivers to the lefty. A fastball on the outside corner, a 2-seamer. 1-2. They are down to their final strike. And the pitch. High and outside, 2-2. Deuces are wild. Sandman 176 average coming into today with only 3 base hits. But all of those hits were extra base hits, 2 doubles and a triple. He has yet to get a single this season. It's a full count now. Smith from the stretch, he delivers. Swung on and missed, and that's the ball game. 3rd straight strikeout for Smith. He strikes out the side after giving up a leadoff single to Mitch Booman. And that's the 3rd straight win for the Riptide, who moved to 9-5 on the year. Keep first place in the Southern Division of the CCL on the back of a grand slam by David Miranda. Winning pitcher is Hayden Shenfield, who's the benefit. Actually, the winning pitcher is not Hayden Shenfield. It goes to Tim Holdgraffer. Despite how great Shenfield pitched, Holdgraffer was the benefit of that 5-run 6th inning. He will get the win. The loss goes to Connor Davis, who was the victim of that 5-run 6th inning. We'll be right back with the post-game interviews. We'll try to get David Miranda as well as Hayden Shenfield. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. What a game. The final, Orange County 6, SoCal 1. Stay tuned.